just mention that today Srila Ashram Maharaj's appearance.
Jai, Srimad Bhakti, Srila Bhakti Kusum Ashram Maharaj ki
Jai. One more Jai.
Jai Ananta, Ananta Jai, Ananta Vijay, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrindi ki Jai.
Indupati Prabhu from the UK is writing, and he done lots to you himself. He's asking, Srila Guru Maharaj changed the line Matala Harijana Vishaya Rangi to Matala Harijana Kirtana Rangi. Was the original too high for us? What is the meaning of the new version?
Well, first of all, Srila Gurudev made this change with Guru Maharaj's approval. And they're also going to be put on the mat where you can see this, like in Bengali characters. And it's a particular interest to Bengalis, those who know Bengali. If we say to a Western person, Matala Sarujana Vishaya Range, Matala Sarujana Kirtana Range, high, low, it doesn't mean anything to people outside of Bengal. But the word Vishaya is generally taken to mean something mundane. So it can look like, to someone who doesn't understand Sarasvati Thakur's concept, it can look like he's saying that the first part, even the first part people get wrong. Puja, laga, or whichever, you can use it either way. Puja, laga, gaurava. Matala sarujana vishaya range can sound like that the saintly persons, in the name of something higher, are going to be doing low things. Just the opposite of what you might want to convey. Because Vishaya, they're going to, relish mundane things. That's not what Saraswati Thakur's purpose was in this expression. He is saying, Pujala Ragapat. Ragapat means the path of spontaneous devotion. Raga Bhakti, Raga Marg, the highest thing, that which is the ultimate aspiration. So what is that? Pujala, puja means worshipable. As here, that which is worshipable is kept in a high position. So he's saying, Pujala Ragapat, the path of Ragamarg, it should be kept above as the plane of our service aspiration. Okay. As I mentioned recently, the line Pujala Raghavat, Gaurava Bange. So Gaurava means with respect, great respect, deep respect. Yeah. And Bange, some people who, although ostensibly in the line of Gaudiya Vaishnavism, are flirt with Prakrita Sahajiyaism, they betray themselves by saying, oh, Bange means break it. Gaurava Bange means the path of Vidimar, you have to break through that to get to the Raga Bhakti. That's what they tell. So, knowing that is the opposite of what Guru Maharaj is saying, I asked Srila Gurudev, Srila Govinda Maharaj once, what does Gaurava Bange mean? And he said, like this. That's what it means, not break, vidi, marg, this nonsense. But with your palms folded, your head bowed means respectfully, with the greatest respect, approaching that plane, which shall be kept above as worshipable. Don't try to bring that worshipable plane down into this world, where it will become fodder for the senses. Mundane, seeing, hearing, tasting, smelling, etc. Right? So, Matala Sarujana Bishaya Range, Guru Maharaj explained in this way. What Sarasvati Thakur is saying is the things of the mundane world will use in service to that higher plane. Like we're using these cameras and lights and computers, sophisticated electronics and other things, right? Sadhus who normally only, they go barefoot. Whether or not they should wear shoes was a controversy. And now, under the heading of Yukta Vairagya Muchyate, how does it say? Hari Sambandhi Bastuna, Mumukshubi Parityago. What is it? Someone knows this sloka? Anashaktasya Bishayan. There's the word, Bishaya. Rupa Goswami. Anashaktasya Bishayan Yatarham Upayunjitaha. Krishna Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe. Yukta Vairagya Muchyate. To renounce something as being mundane is to not understand that everything can be used in the service of Krishna. That was Saraswati Thakur's idea. So he has the printing press. They're using the car, so-called motor car, technology, using it in service to that higher plane. That's one meaning of what he was saying. The other is Guru Maharaj comparing it to bait, that some bait might be used to bring people in connection with Krishna consciousness. Again, what appears to be mundane. Just another example. Srila Swami Maharaj Prabhupada, in the early days in Mayapur, he would go for walks in rice fields, and there was no real construction done yet. And sometimes living in a thatched hut, and bathing from a bucket, and these kind of things. And he said that, actually, this is fine for me. I'm happy with this arrangement. He said, but if I live here in a hut in a rice field, no one will come and see me. He said, but if we arrange air-conditioned buses from Calcutta, and they come to our guest house, and the room has AC, and maybe there's a restaurant. They're making it easy for people. That's the bait. That's the Bishayarangi. That's what is being used to bring people in connection with what? The service of that higher plane. And Saraswati Thakur composed this on the inauguration of the flagship center of Sri Gaudiya Math. So they had a hired house in Ultadanga, and they were going to the Bagh Bazaar, Gaudiya Math, which was their flagship center. And while the deities were being taken in procession, he gave vent to this verse, which Srila Guru Maharaj describes as his motto. This is his theme. The higher worshipable plane kept above, and from here, one step removed from this plane, we're taking everything and employing it in the service to that plane. So that's the backstory of the sloka. Srila Gurudev, Srila Govinda Maharaj, thinking that if this is printed or shown on a placard or whatever without explanation, that Bengali people, they'll have a tendency to misunderstand it, to misread it. So he changed that to Matala Sarujana, or any variety of ways you can say that. Kirtana range. Sarujana, Harijana, Kirtana range. And they're engaged in, kirtan, in service to that higher plane. So, like as our friend Nietzsche says, there are no facts, there are only interpretations. Right? If we say, what is the kirtan? We could go further. Guru Maharaj is quoting Sarasvati Thakur saying, kirtan means a fight. Well, if you look in the dictionary, it doesn't say that kirtan means a fight. Why is he saying that? If we say kirtan, then they'll do kirtan. Well, Sarasvati Thakur is saying, it's a fight. The Krishna conception versus the Mayak misconception. Converting non-Krishna into Krishna. He was not interested in converting mere practitioners. Right? There are so many people in India, particularly, who can, practice, engage in spiritual practices for extensive amounts of time. One of them was Guru Maharaj's beloved friend, Srila Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj, who's, as Guru Maharaj told me the first time I met him, he said, this gentleman who was perched on his shoulder, he said, has some affinity for Krishna Nam. He's chanting like 24 hours a day. But in the time of Srila Saraswati Thakur, some village named Baliati, which may be in modern-day Bangladesh, he was there chanting a lakh of Krishna Nam every day, 64 rounds. So some will say, oh, that's the real thing, Nam Sankirtan, the Yuga Dharma. But for those who cannot do that, they're given some other type seva to perform. Kirtaniya Sadahari, Mahaprabhu himself is saying this. Mahaprabhu says in Chaitanya Bhagavad, if I won't accept an offering from the hand of someone who's not a lakpati, and so many things can be said. So, at the time, Srila Guru Maharaj was the either president or Mat commander, not president, secretary or Mat commander of the Delhi Mat. And he wrote Srila Saraswati Thakur a letter saying, my dear friend Krishnadas Babaji, he's in the forest, the jungle of Baliati, as he put it, taking Krishna Nam 64 rounds a day. But I am thinking to invite him here to Delhi to assist in the service of the Mat. But some say what he's doing, that's the desired thing. Would I be taking him away from the desired service, the Yuga Dharma, and Nam Sankirtan Kalo Paramupai, if Kirtaniya Sadahari, if I bring him here in Delhi, would that please you or displease you? Srila Saraswati Thakur wrote Guru Maharaj, if you can take him out of the jungle of Baliati into service in the Delhi Mat, you'll be his real friend. He said, because I don't recognize that he said, counting beads in the jungle of Baliati is Krishnanushilana. It's favorable to the culture of Krishna consciousness. So he said, so if you'll take him out of that position into service in the Delhi Mat, then you'll be his real friend. You'll be doing him a real favor. So his idea, even of kirtan, is propaganda. Like we play the mridanga, and it's very sweet to hear the sounds of the mridanga and the kartals, kol and kartals. We hear it every morning, every evening, and the noontime. It's very sweet. It's actually the eternal paraphernalia of Mahaprabhu. Right? Sarasvati Thakur forbade harmonium or other things. Guru Maharaj said, it's not that, those things weren't available to Mahaprabhu. No, he descended with his eternal paraphernalia, coal and kartals. But Srila Sarasvati Thakur said, in speaking of the printing press, it's like a propaganda machine, that he called it the Brihad Mridanga, the big Mridanga. A regular Mridanga, we can hear it here. Sometimes you can hear it down by Bamboo House also. The sound goes throughout the area. He said, but this printing press is a Brihad, a huge Mridanga, and with great range. And so what to speak now of the internet, right? Even when we have this talk, there are devotees and aspiring servants all over the world who can hear it, even though we're here, they can hear it and get some benefit from that. So it was, just to conclude, it was not to correct as if something had been misstated. That we should not think. What Saraswati Thakur said was perfect. And in Guru Maharaj's words, it was his motto. This is the motto of his preaching. Right? Condensed into these 2 lines. But Srila Gurudev, ever vigilant and cautious about something being misunderstood, he made this adjustment, particularly for the people there, Bengal. Yes?
Gopakishore Prabhu has a question.
Hare Krishna.
Yesterday was the disappearance of Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj.
Yes.
Did Srila Sridhar Maharaj reveal his position as a Manjari in the spiritual world?
No.
And who are the associates of Mahaprabhu? Is it our Guru Parampara, those who are contemporary to him? Who else?
I should not have the audacity to say who's Mahaprabhu's eternal associates. But in the pages of Charitamritam and other places, sometimes we'll see someone is described as a Parshada. So, that's a delicate subject matter. And we want the grace of these devotees. We don't want to commit any error. So,
this question comes up sometimes due to singing Ye Anilo Premadhana. When we should sing that? Is it also inclusive for our Guru Varga?
For our Guru Varga, but we shall not be liberal and on the disappearance of any particular devotee to sing that song. It says Acharya Thakur in the song. So that's a safe guideline. As we know, we've heard Guru Maharaj mention with regard to Banshidas Babaji Maharaj, hearing someone singing that. And I could think, well, in the inverse, once there's a particular melody to that song called Viraha Giti, means a song of separation. This is very painful for the heart, so it's a particular musical structure. Okay. But on some other day, unrelated to that, and another song, someone was singing a song with that melody. So Srila Govardhan Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, he was annoyed, saying, why are they singing Viraha Giti? He didn't like that. So in an inverted way, we've heard of Banshidas Babaji Maharaj hearing someone sing that, but they're singing the song of Narottam Thakur in like a happy style. He said, if you had any feeling for what is being expressed there, you couldn't do this. So that song, you know, in the end, Narottam Thakur is talking about dashing his head against the rocks. His heart is crushed, is broken from, it's unable to bear the loss of the association of these exalted souls mentioned in that song. So we should be really err on the side of caution when it comes to these things. We're not trying to mimic the sentiments of higher devotees. Or what is it? Narottam Thakur also has so many songs from the Siddha platform, the perfectional stage. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur has some as well. Our concentration is on the lower stage, and theme with what Sarasvati Thakur is saying. What they're expressing, that is worshipable to us. We don't try to mimic or imitate that. Rather, our concentration will be on, like Guru Maharaj is always having Gurudev saying, Emana durmati sangsara vitore. This wicked mind has got me into the mess that I'm in at present. 2 feet in the mud, and that's the starting point. I saw something about the song of Narottam, where he's saying, when will Lokanath Goswami take me by the hand and offer me in service to the lotus feet of Rupa Goswami? This is a very high expression. It's not relevant to our present position. We can know about these things, we can hear something about it, but not try to dwell on it, go into the details, or force it or mimic that. Right. It's inappropriate. But we know that such a thing is there. Narottam Thakur has written Sri Rupa Manjari Pada, this song, which is delineating clearly who's the ultimate leader of our line, Srila Rupa Goswami. So Sarasvati Thakur would conclude his lectures often. Wherever he started, they would conclude with, let us, our only aspiration, life after life, is to be, dust at the lotus feet of Rupa and Raghunath. So that's a wonderful thing, but he's also indicating clearly the line and the aspiration. But he convinced something like that in a heartfelt way. We can recall that, make mention of it, but we don't pretend that we have this sort of depth of feeling. So there's some necessity for understanding what's appropriate and what's inappropriate. Sambandha Gyan. to see where things are, what the relationship is of one thing with another and one plane with another. To indiscriminately jumble all these things together is not only not helpful, but can be offensive. But it is appropriate for, we will think, I have no devotion, I'm not a proper devotee, but my guru, I am in connection with Guru and Vaishnava, they have some substantial connection with Krishna. And I am, by their grace, trying to assist or serve them. Guru Maharaj says, when you think you've got something, you're finished. Saying it's not only unhealthy, but dangerous, and to the point of saying, if you think you're a devotee, you're finished. That's not the proper way of thinking in this line. Even the great devotees, up to and including the greatest devotee, Srimati Radharani, is decrying her position as not being sufficiently dedicated to the lotus feet of Krishna. That's the way. Not the ostentatious display of achievements, but the humble recognition of absence, of not having that very thing that we aspire to. That's the key given by separation, that the heart is feeling something for what is absent. That's the inverted way of measuring some genuine appreciation. So what is expressed in those songs by Narottam Thakur is, if you look at it, it's very intense and pathetic, in a sense of heartbreaking. So we don't ever want to come to the point of complacency and taking these things lightly, that so easily they're flowing off the tongue. The holy name of Srimati Radharani, it's mentioned, Das Goswami is crawling on his hands and knees, and Radha Kunda in advanced age with tears soaking his clothes, crying out her name. What is visible now is a mockery of Das Goswami, where her name has come to be used for anything and everything. So we're, in Guru Maharaj's words, we're seeking the grace of these Vaishnavas. So our inclination shall be that they can express something substantial, and our good fortune is if we can assist or serve them in some capacity, however remote or trivial.
A question from Australia. Sometimes I feel more selfish than other times. Why do these emotions come in waves?
Maybe some consciousness is coming. Sometimes we're not conscious of our flaws, but as we make progress, we become more conscious of our flaws. Just like if someone is living in filth, they become accustomed to that. So it's the new normal, right? But if by some grace, higher association, some inspiration is awakened in them to be clean, suddenly they realize, this place is filthy. 5 minutes before, they weren't seeing that, or the day before. Suddenly, there's some awareness, this place is filthy, it needs to be cleaned. So, with increased awareness, coming in connection with Krishna consciousness, Sadhu, Shastra, Guru, Vaishnav, then suddenly we realize what the condition of our heart is. That reminds me once with Srila Babaji Maharaj that he would go from mat to mat and do his Nam Sankirtan and sing so many songs. And also sing the songs of Srila Guru Maharaj. Really, he is the person who popularized them throughout Gaudiya Mat, singing Pranamami Siddha Prabhupada Padam and Premadama Deva Stotram and Nikhila Bhuvana Maya and slokas, songs, everything. But naturally, if he goes from one mat to another mat, at the most recent mat, they'll get some news about the last mat. And then like this. Then once someone said, oh, I see what you're doing, Babaji Maharaj. You go to one mat and you're spreading rumors and gossip from the last mat. So they're welcoming you, giving you prasad and a place and everything. Then you go to the next mat and tell the rumors and gossip there. That's what you do. And he said, at last you have understood the condition of my heart. All this time you were thinking you were telling that I was a Vaishnava and exalted in so many different ways. But at last, finally, you've understood the real condition of my heart. So perhaps the plenary power of what he was saying has descended in the heart of that devotee in Australia. So, Hare Krishna. Keep up the good work. Mate. Mate. You ever hear a child say that? A little child comes, Mother, I've realized recently this waves of selfishness, they're coming. Sometimes greater than others. What shall I do? Share my toys with others? So it's awareness. So, Atma Samiksha, self-awareness, must lead to some, not external, but internal fault-finding. Guru Maharaj, he was a reservoir of different aphorisms in English. One of them was, oil your own machine. Another machine is squeaking or anything, don't worry about that. Oil your own machine. Srila Gurudev saying, my religion is finding fault with myself. So this person said, I discovered some faults, sometimes more than others. Well, then you're doing okay. I just heard this talk recently where some servitors of Sarasvati Thakur who'd been with him, say, 15 years or more, they wanted to approach him and ask some question, but they're hesitating, and he's thinking, you must have come to say something. He said, what is it? And they go, well, we don't really want to say, but, say. And they said, well, we've been here 15 years and we don't feel like we've really made any progress. And Saraswati Thakur, is what you're saying true? Yes. We're ashamed to admit it, but we're hesitating, but we don't feel we've made any progress. He said, you're okay, you can go. So Guru Maharaj says that was peculiar of him to say that. But then Guru Maharaj began to explain, yes, that will be the proper mood of a devotee. I'm devoid of this divine substance, but my good fortune is to be in connection with substantial devotees. And they're giving me some opportunity to serve them. And sometimes, by their grace, they're extending something to us. But he called it adhoksaja wealth. If it's real, if there's anything real or substantial about our connection with Krishna consciousness, it's a gift from the upper world. When he said adhoksaja plane, why did he use that word? He could use another word. There are 100 words you could use to describe. Why did he say adhoksaja? Do you know? What does adhoksaja mean? Adha aksaja means that which descends into this plane. And one description, the aksaja means what we see or our senses. Adha means it suppresses sense experience when it reveals, it descends from the upper world into this plane. Not that by suppressing your sense experience, I think, following this, that, and the other, I'm suppressing all my sense experience. Now I'm going to have a divine revelation. That's just mental projection. If it's genuine, it's descending from that plane into this plane and suppressing the senses. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he said, bichakshana, chahile, korite, anki agochar, something I love him. He says, like a flash of lightning, momentarily everything is illuminated, everything is revealed. But if you try to sustain that experience, then it's shift. Now it's you, vanished. Like that. It's Krishna, momentary, lightning-like illumination. We say, oh, I want it to just sustain that, vanish. And this is one of the faults of Prakrita Sahajism. They're trying to sustain something. Then it turns into your own, again, fodder for the senses, which are like vultures, vulture food. Not the real form of Krishna, not the divine sound of the name of Krishna, not real qualities of Krishna, not real pastimes of Krishna, fictitious devotion. I once called it air bhajan. Right? Nothing substantial there. So that means necessarily we're always in a position of want, which is good for a devotee. If what I just said is true, that means then we'll never be in a position where you can take Krishna consciousness for granted, because you always realize it's a gift, adhoksaja wealth, it's a gift from that plane. All we can hope for, like the chatak bird. There is a chatak bird, it's not only mythical. And the regular, like Wikipedia or wherever, they'll say they follow like rain clouds. They'll say they eat other things, but they only drink rainwater. That's the idea. The chatak is waiting for a drop of that nectar. It's so valuable, so transformative, and the devotee will patiently wait. And we're told that Chatak, whether it's thundering, lightning, whatever is the position of a rain cloud, he doesn't care. Nothing dissuades him from that being the exclusive source of his nourishment, of his water. Same thing for a devotee. No other shelter. Is there anything else?
One last question.
Okay.
What should be our mood during puja? I heard that you should take care of the deity as you would take care of a child. Is that so? Also, often the meaning behind the movements and paraphernalia is not very clear, but still, we need to do it with devotion. How to do something you don't understand with love.
A mother will tell their child to have a gift and say, give it to your grandmother or give it to your auntie. And the child maybe clumsily or otherwise, they try and do that. Right? So what's at play there is it's not that the child is doing that with love and affection, but they're going through the motions. They're learning how to give. And in time, with growth and development, there'll be some feeling to what was otherwise done in an imitative style. So Srila Guru Maharaj says, really, although the deity is real and genuine, our capacity to appreciate the presence of the deity is limited at best. So the Archan, he compared it to a mock battle, like a mock fight, you could say with live ammunition. Gradually, it can turn into something meaningful or substantial. Right? But still, we're novices, neophytes. So a particular system has been set up, established, and we're following that. Try to just do it attentively. Cannot force love and affection. That's something that may appear in time, but at least we can try to be attentive in what we're doing. And also I'm reminded of when Gadadhar Pandit asked Nimai Pandit to take over the puja for a day. And Nimai Pandit would come, bathe, put on tilak, dress, present himself before the deity, and then the streams of Ganga, streams of tears coming from his eyes, soaking his clothes, washing away the tilak, so then he had to go bathe again, put on fresh clothes, tilak, present himself, and it happened again. And with tear-filled eyes, he said, I'm so unfortunate I can't worship the deity. So, as an extreme example, Mahaprabhu, in this example, worshiping the deity, taking the name of Krishna, this is all of a higher plane. We are practicing. The exact word by Guru Maharaj was mock fight, which prepares you for the real thing. But again, not to misunderstand, the deity is there, Krishna is there. What is our capacity to appreciate that? Very little. So Srila Guru Maharaj will say, rather than the conventional notion of like, where darshan means to go and see the deity, he will say, it means to be seen by the deity. We don't doubt Krishna's capacity to see us. So, therefore, we want to be dressed nicely, with tilak, nice clothes, bathe, everything, and present ourselves to be seen by the deity. So many prayers are said, so many songs are sung. In time, some impression may come to the heart. Like, opera is in Italian for the most part, right? Some in German, but so we can say, well, you know, they're singing in this language you don't understand and doing all these, but someone can say, yeah, but still, maybe even from the beginning you'll feel something. And in time, it may become more meaningful to you, what's actually going on. But it's not required from the very beginning. In the beginning, just follow what's been laid out by superiors, the sequence. Just like that mother telling, give this to your grandmother, and then they go and maybe they throw it at them or drop it in front of them the first time, and then run back and hide behind their mothers. But, and then the next time they get a little bit older, next year, then they, maybe on their own initiative, they start thinking of something nice. What is that? Martyo yada chaktva samasta karma niveditatma vichikirsitome. Start thinking of what nice thing could be done. Something nice comes. Our natural tendency is to think for ourselves. But then maybe we'll start thinking, oh, for Krishna, for Giriraj. Someone brought Sarasvati Thakur. He was going to Calcutta or something. As he was leaving the mat, some devotee came running up with like the first flower of the season from a particular tree. And knowing that, Saraswati Thakur said, take that to Mahaprabhu. Give that to Mahaprabhu, then you can bring that to me. So that type of thinking, we want to be under the guidance of such souls. If we'll serve them, follow their directions, then one day that sort of natural devotional feeling and sentiment will awaken within us. In the meantime, modest natural growth. We don't want to try and force anything. But it'll be best to think of the deity as the deity, as Krishna. When the deity is Krishna. And that should make us most humble and attentive to the service at hand.